Hey everybody, welcome to our Wednesday night Zoom call. It's our last one ever, and then we will continue on Monday nights. We have a super amazing special guest, Celeste Gwynn, the only double diamond in all of Plexus, and she happens to be one of our uplines. She is, I'm her level 4, so if you know how the levels to the organization works, just kind of picture that for a second. I'm her level 4. We are on her second position, and she is double diamond, so that means she didn't just go diamond once, but she rejoined under herself as her own level 1, basically, and went to the top again. And we were a part of that history in Plexus, which is so cool. And of course, how I had to kick off our year with Celeste. So what we've done is you guys ask questions on the team page. And we are going to kind of put Celeste on the spot here for a minute and ask her these questions. So grab a pen and paper. You're going to want to take notes. I know half of you are like, drooling. You're like, oh my gosh, that's Celeste. This is awesome. She's a mom. She is a mom. She was a military wife at one point. She has 2 beautiful children. So she knows what it's like. She remembers, I'm sure, what it was like to go silver. Okay. So as you're sitting here and you're listening to all this juiciness, I want you to keep that in mind. She was skeptical. She was brand new. She sat there and rolled her eyes at team calls and rolled her eyes at Facebook posts. She gets it. But she saw a bigger picture. She saw a bigger vision, and that's what she is here to share, is what that looked like for her going double diamond. So that's my first question, Celeste. What was your Plexus why, and how has it evolved over the last couple of years for you?
So, if you know anything about me, Emily, I'm real and transparent. So I got to tell you, I'm embarrassed to say it now 4 years later, but my why, the very first why I had started as total vanity, right? I wanted to lose weight. I watched my best friend from college lose weight, and, her baby was 12 months old and my baby was 12 years old. So I decided it was time for me to lose mine. So it started completely about weight loss for me. But we talked so much about that why evolving, and, mine did. It went from weight loss to health and wellness, to getting off of antidepressants with my doctor's help, to being a better mom, to having more energy. And I quickly saw the business. And from there, it went to financial freedom, for me, for my family. And now, we'll talk about it. It's one of the other questions, but my why now is helping other people gain financial freedom. Obviously, it's still about the freedom that I have to be a full-time mama and be able to, I literally say, I'm doing it all. Like, I'm showing my kids that I can run a multi-million-dollar business from a soccer game, and what a cool thing for my 15-year-old daughter to see. There's no bigger why in the world than for her to see you can, love the Lord, love your spouse, love your kids, and still be a successful businesswoman. I think it's a pretty cool thing. So that's kind of where my why is at now.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Number 2, how do you keep going when you get turned down time and time again?
Yeah. I think for me, it was so simple because I caught it really quickly, that the vision, I knew that I believe in the products that already had great success, but I caught the vision really quickly to where I realized no matter what your issue is, I have the answer. And I got really bold about that quickly because I saw the opportunity. And I joke around now, and this totally applies. I say, here I am 4 years later, and it's been one of the blessings in disguise is that my friends that haven't joined Plexus, that's okay. They're still my friends. But guess what? I don't have to listen to them complain about being fat, unhealthy, or broke because they know that I'm going to go, right, like you know what I do, right? Like, so I still have friends that are fat, unhealthy, and broke, right? But I don't have to listen to them complain about it. I don't love them any less. But that's when I got bold about the no's not really bothering me and rolling off, because I knew, first of all, 4 years later, let me tell you, they come around, but I also knew I had to share, and that made it a lot easier. Does that make sense?
Sure does. So you kind of get past the no. You don't throw yourself a pity party. You're just like, you know what? Take it or leave it. I know what I have to offer you. I like to call it, I'm putting gold on a plate and I'm putting it on the table. So you either take it or you leave it. Love it.
That's right.
Okay,
Yep.
number 3, this was like a question that was asked over and over. What is the number one thing you would go back and tell yourself when you started that you know now?
This one is really one of my favorites because I don't think it just is me. I think it's pretty much every leader that I know would say this. It's people are watching you. Don't get discouraged. If you're sharing on social media, if you're wearing your Plexus swag and people aren't asking you, if you throw your keychain down everywhere you go and it's got a Plexus thing on it and nobody says, oh, what is that? Know that they're watching. If they're not commenting on your post, if they're watching you get healthy, they're watching you be brighter, watching you lose weight, watching you be a better mom. If they're not asking, they're watching and they're soaking it all in and they will come around. I think that that's the number one, what do I know now that I wish I would have known then, is be bolder about sharing because people are watching and people are taking it all in.
Did everybody hear that? Be bolder about sharing. Share unapologetically. There's nothing to be sorry about. We literally have what people go to bed every night praying for. So why wouldn't you just tell everybody? I love it. Cool. Number 4, what is one thing you had before Plexus that you do not have now and maybe you miss?
This is a really good question that I have never been asked. And it was really funny because I read it out loud in front of my kids and they don't use this word, but it's anonymity. And you're like, what do you even mean by that? We live in a really small town, right? They and I, if I have to be honest, I really miss being able to go into Target and not seeing people that I know when I want to wear these grubby sweatpants and this grubby sweatshirt and not put on makeup. That's the only thing, which, I mean, hello, that's pretty ridiculous, but that's literally the only thing that we could think of. This has been such a blessing in our life. Everything is better. Emily, I made a huge sacrifice for 2 years. If you'd asked me maybe a year ago, I probably would have said, yeah, I miss not being at every single rehearsal. I missed 4 soccer games. I missed a couple of volleyball games. Like a year and a half ago, I might have said that was something that I missed. But now that I'm on the other side of that, guess what? I don't miss anything. And I've got this amazing residual income. So it's really hard to think of anything that was better then than it is now, because I went through that season where I did miss some stuff, but holy moly, everyone in my family, including both my teens, will tell you it was worth it. They just had Christmas. I promise they think it was worth it now.
Oh, I'm sure. Are you adopting, taking applications?
And it's not just about the stuff. I mean, the freedom, the time that I have with them now, being able to go on mission trips, them being able to see us give, and all those things are huge blessings that they're seeing, lived out daily because we made that sacrifice. And when I say we, they're shareholders in my business, and it was a sacrifice for all 4 of us for a while.
They have their mom. Absolutely. My dad was an Army guy, so I can't imagine what that would have been like to have both parents in the house growing up. That's very special and very rare these days. So I'm glad that you bring that to light. Number 5, this kind of goes along with walking around in Target in your sweatpants. How do you approach a total stranger about Plexus?
So I'm a little different than some other network marketers and some different Plexus ambassadors in that there's nothing wrong with that. And I know some amazing leaders on my team that have had great luck with that. It's not really my MO. I am way more of if we have a connection, by all means, I'm going to share with you right off the bat. If it feels natural, I guess that the words that I would say, if it feels natural, do it, don't force it. And that's kind of how I never wanted to come across as this cliche, I'm just trying to slip you my business card. So I'm not like a really big just walk into a gas station and start sharing with somebody. But if I walk into a gas station and somebody's buying Advil and I go, oh man, yeah, I haven't had a headache in a year, but I used to get headaches all the time. Try this paint drink. Well, then it's like natural, right? I share with strangers all the time, but only because I'm super chatty and I talk to people all the time. And if it comes up in natural conversation, then by all means, find them on Facebook right then and there. Give them your business card, but get their information too so that you can follow up, but only if it feels natural so that we don't come across as sleazy and like I'm just trying to sell you something. Come across as sincerely trying to help someone or sincerely trying to get to know someone. It feels real. Yeah, it feels organic and it feels real.
And it makes sense. We're not salespeople, right? We don't have a briefcase. We're not walking door to door. I used to work for a financial firm. They called it door knocking. They legitimately went from door to door to sell insurance. That is not what we're doing. We are offering something if they want it, but if it feels forced and you start getting awkward, abort mission. Like, get out of it. That's salesy, and that's not what we're about. So great.
No, people have to know you care before they're interested. Like, they have to know that you're actually invested and that you care before they care what you have to offer.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let's kind of talk more businessy. Number 6, what is your duplication process after you sign up a new level 1?
So I think that the most important thing, and I'll tell you why as we go through the rest of these questions, is getting with them in the first 24 hours when somebody joins. Don't let it settle. Don't give it a few days. Be persistent. If they're local, I'm like, dude, when can we meet for coffee? If they're not local, I'm like, what are you doing tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.? That doesn't work. What are you doing at 11? What are you doing at noon? And I find, okay, what time works for you? I'll make it work. I'll move stuff around to make it work. I think getting on the phone with them right off the bat and helping them really understand that they need to share immediately. So often if they wait to share, they lose that zeal, they lose that excitement. I want to wait and have results. I talk to them a lot about sharing about what you hope is to come. That's helping them come up with their why. So because ultimately what everyone wants is hope, right? And you can share about that before you've ever taken your first product. You can keep your integrity intact by saying, I hope I have more energy. I hope that I don't need my naps. I hope that I lose weight. I hope I'm a better parent. Hope I can pay my car payment. All that stuff. You can share about that in person, live in the flesh, on Facebook, as you're talking to people, as you're going through your daily life. But getting people sharing right off the bat, that's something that I really try to do quickly. Talking to people about going silver, how easy that is. I really put it simple. Like, man, you have a mom, a sister, and a best friend, right? You have a mom, a sister-in-law, and a cousin, right? Like, you get 3 people. Surely you have 3 people that'll trust you and join you on this journey. Boom, you've got a bonus. Boom, you're getting paid. You tell them to do the same thing. We talk about that power of 3. There's no secret to how you get to double diamond except for the power of 3. That is the secret. I go silver every month. 4 years in, my goal is to still go silver every single month. And my goal is to train those 3 people that I join every single month to go out and recruit 3 and recruit 3 and recruit 3. That is, if you want to take one note, that is the secret to going diamond or double diamond, is going silver every single month and then training those silvers on the power of 3. It's a simple thing though. Emily, that's the other thing, that I did write down was keep it simple. I think there's so many awesome leaders now. We've all done it different ways. There's a lot of plans out there for having success, and they're all awesome. The videos are great. The files are great. The Zoom calls are great. This is all good stuff. But what everyone has to remember is that when Jen, my upline, who's the Diamond Sapphire, and then I'm Diamond, when we joined, we didn't have all that. We had passion, and we were just out sharing and being bold. And it was super simple. But that's all we were doing. We were doing 531. We weren't calling it 531, right? We were doing IPAs. We didn't even know the word IPA. There's so many things that we just were doing it. We didn't have names for it. We didn't even necessarily have a methodology at that point. We were just sharing and being bold because we knew what we knew, that we had something amazing. We still do. Just keep it simple and get out there and share and be bold. People will know if that's a passion or if it's you trying to sell something. Mm-hmm. So make sure, you build that belief to build that passion, ultimately.
Love it. Love it. Yes.
I don't know if I answered the question. I feel like I chased rabbits a little bit.
No, it's simplicity, and it's exactly that. That's actually my word for 2017. Allison Bro, Celeste is like her level 12. Mm-hmm. She was one of the first youngest diamonds ever. And she asked a lot of her leaders, she said, what is your word for 2017? And simplicity, that was my word. I overcomplicate everything. Anyone else? You can raise your hand. I can see you, but I overcomplicate so many things. I'm a woman, right? I overanalyze. And I just love what Celeste said. She helps them see the silver vision, right? They don't have to worry about diamond right now. We want them to see the silver vision. We want them to duplicate that. And we want them to share passionately. How simple is that, right? You don't have to.
Right. And I think one of the beautiful things about our comp plan is you get somebody silver, man, they're excited. You get them silver in the first week, they're excited because our comp plan is set up so that you get compensated for that. And then you're like, whoa, I just made however much money, depending how many customers you may have gotten while you were going silver. I got paid. So then they stay excited.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I will never forget going silver. And I know Tamara Holloway has a similar story. I went silver and Scott was deployed and he was deployed and I emailed him and I said, I went silver with Plexus. And he was like, way to go. He had no idea what that meant. And he was like, so now what? And I didn't, like Celeste said, I didn't know the things that I was doing had terms behind them. I didn't know that it was like something I was supposed to do. I just did it naturally because I felt good. I was losing weight and I made money. I mean, military income is not the greatest, and that's what we were living off of with a brand new baby. Going silver was formula and diapers. That's all I saw in that money and those dollar signs. So love it.
That's amazing.
Number 7, how many people did you personally have to sponsor? So I guess, okay, let me break this down. If you went emerald in 4 months, a lot of people don't know this. So Celeste went emerald in 4 months, sapphire in like 5 months, and in 5.5 months you were diamond. Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were emerald, how many level 1s did you have at that time?
Okay, so my color personality by this answer. I don't really know. But I mean, what I do know, and this is important, I think, is I had 11 of my jewels that I have 19 level 1 jewels right now. 11 of those had joined me before I went emerald. So that tells you I was doing a lot of recruiting, and not only was I doing a lot of recruiting, I was recruiting a lot of people that had the work ethic, the drive, the belief, and the passion, the commitment that I had. You know, they say water seeks its own level. So I was at that point gangbusters, excited. And I just got chills saying that. Like it still makes me giddy. But I was seeking people that were like me, that needed it, that wanted it, that I knew could do it, that had the network, that had the work ethic and the drive. So 4 months, I'm not sure how many level 1s I had or how many ambassadors I had, but I did look today, and 11 of my now 19 jewels had already joined me in that first, 4 months. So in that first 3 months, let's say, before I went emerald, I already had 11 runners on my team, which is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, that's one of the reasons that I think it's so important to be excited from the beginning, because people were just feeding off of that. They saw that I had that belief and they knew my integrity. So they were like, okay, we're doing that. Like if she's doing that, we're doing that. And she has great energy and she's getting, she's already making money. I can remember my very first check, my silver check. It was my first check ever, Emily. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was a military wife that got married before I graduated from college, okay? So my silver check, I was giddy. Like, oh my word, so proud of myself. I get to, buy something. I don't even know what I did with it. It really wasn't much, but it was mine.
Yep.
And I felt like that every single step along the way. I've always felt so compensated for what we do, compensated so well, from silver all the way up to obviously, double diamond. It's just been a blessing every step of the way. I'm on my knees on the 15th of every month, just in awe, in tears, and thankful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that you said you don't know how many you had, but you knew how many runners you probably had. You guys,
Yeah.
That right there, that tells me that her thought process was income producing. She didn't know how many ambassadors. She knew how many runners. I love it. Thinking back, as I was trying to think while you were talking, when I went emerald, so I did in 8 months. So I did double Celeste time frame, right? And I too had about 11 runners. But they were all at least gold at that point. So I think that's pretty amazing.
I think
we're breaking up. Are you on Wi-Fi? Get off Wi-Fi. Can you?
Are y'all freezing out?
Yes, it was me, I think. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I've got you.
Me. Scotty's still in my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
We good now?
You know what? I should literally holler out really quick and tell my kids to get off Netflix. I bet it's my kids.
Go for it. Just
Hold on. Are you recording this?
I am, but it makes
Okay, well, talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Hold on.
mom life. Y'all know all about that when Sterling interferes with my Zoom calls. I love it. You can use the chat box if you're loving this information, or if you have something to say about a response, by all means, she can see the chat box when it pops up, and she loves the feedback. So if you are loving the advice that you're hearing, let her know in the chat box so that she knows what you like or what you're learning from this. My mind is just blown. I love it. 19 joules, you guys. 19. That's crazy.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, cool. So she had runners, emerald in 4 months, diamond in 5.5. Fun fact, I learned this like a couple months ago and it blew my mind. Celeste went sapphire and diamond in the same month. I read that comment. What? That's like going emerald all over again. The jump from sapphire to diamond is like going emerald in between those ranks. So if you haven't really looked at the compensation plan, the points, and done the math, go check that out tonight when you get off this call and just let your mind be blown. It's so amazing.
And you know what I want to add to that? It's crazy. It is. But, we talk a lot about putting on your blinders. And, one thing that Jen Hawkins and I always say is, we obviously, it didn't matter if we had blinders on because there's nobody left or right, right? So we were just doing our thing. And I think if you just do your thing and you just work under the Lord and you work hard, this is hard work. There's not a leader in this company that's going to go, this was easy. I just smooth sailed my way to diamond. It was like winning a lottery ticket and I just happened to scratch off. I mean, we work really hard, right? We work on our own terms. And we work in the nooks and crannies. I say sometimes my nooks and crannies is the size of the San Andreas Fault. Sometimes it's a crack in the sidewalk, right? What a blessing that is that I get to decide depending on what I do, that affects my output. Input affects output. And sometimes I don't put in as much, I don't get out as much, but it's worth it to still get paid and have the flexibility to be a mom, right? Full time. So that's kind of we didn't know that what we were doing was amazing, I guess is what I'm saying. We were just working hard and we had belief and we had passion. We didn't know we were breaking records. We didn't know. We were just working. And I think that's the most inspiring thing I could say is just be on your journey, work hard. It's going to happen. But if you look around and go, oh, I'm not going as fast as someone else. Well, you're not doing this to compete, right? You're doing this to change your family's life. Right. Does it matter if it takes 4 months or 4 years? If you're getting healthier and you're making more money to change your family's life eventually, like just be on your own journey. And I think we say that and it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. But it is so important to remember.
It really is. The second you get stuck in that comparison bubble, you're not focusing on anything income producing. You're focusing on someone else's income producing stuff. And that's not any good. Okay. Right. So you were moving and grooving. You get to emerald in 4 months, sapphire and diamond in 5.5 months. So in that time frame, or even now, do you ever cold message? I know you're real big on relationships. So is this something you've ever done?
Yeah, I don't call it, I wouldn't say that I cold message, but I did a ton of, which is probably why I've got nodes on my vocal cords now, voice messages, and I still do, on Messenger, right? So not cold messaging, but listen, I mean, here's the deal. It's kind of cold messaging if I haven't talked to you since the 4th grade and we're Facebook friends, right? Yeah. So I did a whole lot of reaching out to folks that were on my friends list, not being ugly, but they weren't really friends. They were people that had sent me requests, and at some season, some point in life, we had crossed paths. So it's not so much cold messaging as much as warm messaging, I guess. But it wasn't people that I was doing life with. And I did a ton of that. Especially, I mean, that first 4 months, again, not a numbers person, but I would guess I sent 20 or 30 a day. Yeah. Maybe more some days if I had more time. But I was just passionate. And I say using voice messenger. I know right now I sound like a old man that smokes, but I don't. But normally, when I don't have this weird scratch and I'm voice messaging someone, when I am talking about Plexus, they do not doubt that I am sincere and that I'm passionate and that I have belief. So that voice messenger is 100% the best way you can reach out to someone. What would a message sound like? I mean, Stephanie, I guess it would depend on who I'm talking to. I just saw this. These have all been popping up, and I just saw the first one. Sorry. Squirrel. I think it would be something like, if I was talking to somebody that I went to high school with, I would always look for a reason to reach out, first of all. Like if they posted something like, man, my daughter really wants to go to cheer camp. There's no way I can afford it. Or, oh man, something about money. Well, then that's an open door. Hey, Emily, hey, listen, I saw your message about wanting your daughter to go to cheer camp. Man, I have been in that situation. My daughter is an actress. There's been times that I've wanted her to do a theater camp, and there's just no way it wasn't possible. But listen, I've had great success with these products that I'm doing. I'm sure you see it all over my wall. Who knows? You may have hidden me. It's super annoying, I know. But believe me, this stuff works. Guess what? My daughter can do any theater camp she wants right now because of Plexus. I don't know if you're interested. If you're not, hey, man, you're still my friend. But if you're interested, let me send you some more information. I'd love to connect. If not, I hope you have a blessed day. Talk to you soon. Bye. That's it. What was that? Under a minute? Sending 10 of those took 10 minutes. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't to discourage you. This is to encourage you because I'm double diamond. If I sent 30 of those in one day, I might get back 2 messages, right? The next day I send 30 more, I might get back 1 message. Yeah. Guess what, though? Somebody might say they're interested. Guess what that means? I write them on a list, and they are blessed enough that they now get to hear from me every month for the rest of forever. Sorry about them. But they opened that door, and I would just follow up. And, I think that's another great piece of advice. That's I think that might be your next question. The most important thing you can do every day? Mm-hmm. Is that the one that's next?
It's coming up. You have a couple questions in between, but I wanted to piggyback real quick because you said you pretended to cold contact me about cheer camp. You guys, when she was talking about her why and her passion, you totally made me emotional just now, and you didn't even know it. Growing up, my mom always worked 4 to 8 odd jobs, cleaning houses, working for churches, childcare in our house, out of our home. She would run homeschool meetings, any and everything. At one point, she was selling swing sets for like those, those big wooden swing sets. Mm-hmm. She did it all. She even did Advocare back in the day. But she didn't stick to it. She didn't have that passion. And it made me completely emotional because I was the kid that died to go to cheer camp. But I was denied so many things unless my mom worked, those odd jobs. My dad was in sales or in the Army, so he's always gone. And I want you to think of your childhood, okay? We talk about things in the now, right? Our whys in the now, like Celeste, yours was weight loss, and now you just want to help everybody. You want them to be double diamond. So I'm channeling my inner why. Yeah, I wanted to lose weight. I've had 2 kids. I got a gut. I need to lose it. But I think of my childhood and how many kids maybe were like me who didn't have both parents, who would kill to go to drama camp or cheer camp or just be cool and have a new pair of shoes for the school year. Let that play into your why. Let it make you emotional. Think about that. But that had me totally thinking when you were talking about that. I'm like, she's going to make me cry. She doesn't even know it. It's a God thing. She has no idea. So love it. Love it.
Roz Payne, when she talks about her why, that's what she says is she needed to do some therapy for her son, Colton. He's autistic, and it was insurance wasn't going to cover it. And her husband was like, what if this could be, that? What if this could be our answer? And she's, every time I cried, she cries. But, you'll do anything for your kid. And, she's diamond, almost ruby now. And her why started was she needed $500 a month to put Colton in that therapy. And that was, people say, oh, how do you push through the no's? How do you not let it get to you? Man, first of all, when you believe in what you're doing, that's easy. Second of all, when you know you're doing it for your family that you love unconditionally, all day long tell me no, because eventually somebody's going to tell me yes. I'm going to change their life, and I'm going to change my family's life, right? So they're going to thank me. Listen, the folks on my team, Rosalind Payne, Diamond Senior Gold, she's my best friend. Like, she's like a sister. I mean, like, literally, I would take a bullet for that girl. I stalked her, telling her to join my team. And she was like, dude, no, I don't have time for that. I don't have, and I said, that's why you need to do this. That's why you need this, because you don't have time for anything. You know, she's working 60 hours a week. She thanks me. I mean, tearfully thanks me for being annoying, right? I thank Jen tearfully for reaching out 8 times before I said yes over the course of 9 months. Just know, like, the people that end up joining you and you do change their lives, they're so grateful that you didn't give up on them. I'm so grateful Jen didn't give up on me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just there, you have to see that as a part of your bigger picture. I think we forget that sometimes. We see all these amazing outcomes, like people like Celeste or whoever you follow. I know a lot of you like the McColls and the Yanceys. You see all the amazing things that they're able to do, but you forget that that could be you. You just got to do the work to get there. So leads me to do the next question. When you first joined, this is a no-brainer. Everyone should know this. How long did you wait until you finally shared?
Like 30 minutes or something. I don't know. I mean, it may have been the next day before I made a Facebook post, but I'd already told my friends, because that's what I do. I'd already texted everyone, saw them at, whatever sporting event we were doing that season. Let's see, what was it, March? Anyway, soccer, wherever we were, I already told everyone what I was doing within, the first 30 minutes. Probably posted on Facebook the next day. I think went silver my first day. Didn't wait. And again, that's part of the reason why I had 11 jewels by the time, before I went emerald. They weren't jewels yet, but you know what I mean? Runners that were on their way to jewel. That's why, because I didn't wait and I got them excited right off the bat and I shared that vision. And, it's like, that said it already. Water seeks its own level, man. If I'm up here, they're going to be up here. That's why we say keep it positive on your team pages. It's not being fake. It's because positivity feeds off of positivity, just like negativity feeds off of negativity. I was so positive and so excited for a lot of reasons. Obviously having success with the product, but coming from traditional business background and getting the comp plan in front of my dad and my brother and my husband, who I thought were going to be super skeptical and be like, that's so embarrassing. Don't do that to our family. Like, network marketing, no, don't do that. And having them look at the comp plan and go, yeah, you're going to be diamonds. You got this. This is amazing. I was like, boom, I'm off to the races, because they believed in me, right? They believed in me. I believed in the product. They believed in the comp plan. I believed in them because they were successful in business. Therefore, I believed in the comp plan, right? So I was off to the races immediately, and just, I am lucky. I'm blessed, actually. I don't believe in luck, but I believe that I was blessed, because I know one thing that I've learned about personal growth in the last 4 years is not everybody has that. But if you don't have other people building that belief in you, you can build that belief in yourself. If I've learned anything in the last 4 years, personal growth and development is at the top of my list. And if you have tapes playing in your head telling you that you can't because your dad told you you couldn't, or you didn't make cheerleader in high school because you weren't good enough, or whatever those tapes are in your head, the negativity, that's probably something that did happen to you when you were in high school. It's holding you back now. Man, you can crush them and throw them out the window and never listen to them again. So please don't think that because you don't have your family support, you can't, because you can.
So would you share with everybody how long you were a customer and a skeptic before joining?
Yeah, so I watched Jen for a long time before I even ordered product. I finally was like, okay, this stuff works. What are you doing? And I was a customer for 9 months. And I was a really good customer. Like, everyone on my family was on everything. And I think I was spending, I don't know, $400 or $500 a month on product, but did not want anything to do with network marketing. Like, really, truly, now I just adore this industry. I was horrified, didn't want anything to do with it, and told her, no, thank you. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was really busy already. I've always done a lot of philanthropic stuff. The cool thing now is I can do the philanthropic stuff, but I can also give financially, right? It's not just about giving my time anymore, now I can make a difference with my income. I've always wanted to give my time. I've always had passions and things that I'm passionate about with my church and different ministries, but it's always been about a time commitment. How cool that now it can always be about a financial and a time commitment. That's just such a huge blessing. But yeah, huge skeptic for 9 months, customer, wanted nothing to do with it. She enticed me with that, trip to Maui, and that's really what got me working was, I'm like, dude, you're not going to Maui without me. What do I have to do? And then I was all in, off to the races.
And it's funny because I watched your Diamond documentary. I was very skeptical when Holly reached out to me, and I watched your Diamond doc in particular a good 20 times a day before I finally was like, okay, I just need to do this. I'm very blue. So I saw another blue person living it up and having a good time. And in my mind, besides getting skinny, I wanted a free car because we didn't have a car. So I'm like, I need a car. What, I needed to figure out how to get this dadgum car. And side note, Melissa Eichenhorst lives in my town and went to high school with my sister-in-law. So I added Melissa Eichenhorst on Facebook the same time Holly and I became friends. So I'm watching Melissa Eichenhorst get her car in 9 months. And I'm like, she's old. If she can do this, I can do this. She's totally
got this.
Not old at all. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, I got this. I got this. And we talk
so awesome
about that all the time because I sat back for 9 months like you. I wasn't even a customer, but I was like, oh, come on. I got this. It's so funny. It's all about our timing, right? So
absolutely.
The next 3 questions kind of roll into each other. The first one is number 10. How do you overcome cost objection? You said you were a great customer. You're ordering a lot. So if finances are an issue with someone you're talking to, how do you overcome that?
This is a really simple one. Won't take long to answer. What I found is when you walk through someone's day with them, they can always find an extra $5 a day. Very, very, very rarely for a customer, when I walk through someone's day, well, then I go to Sonic. If you don't have Sonic, it's a place where you go and get these humongous sugary drinks, like at happy hour, and they're like 99 cents, I go to 7-Eleven twice a day and get my big gulp. I go and get a Venti, whatever, at Starbucks, blah, 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 blah. With any of those 3, you've just paid for your product for the day. Talking about joining as an ambassador, $34.95, $34.99. Really, have you been to Target this week? Especially if it's someone that I'm good friends with, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it depends on your personality. But for me, I'm like, sister, I've actually been to Target with you. I know what junk you're buying every time you go to Target that you don't need, or Walmart, or wherever you shop. So for me, it depends on your personality and your relationship with them, but it's just kind of walking through that day. Let's talk about the medications that you're on. Let me tell you the medications that I was on. And we're staying compliant. We're always talking about with our doctor's help, able to come off of any medication with my doctor's help. But we talk through that about what are you spending on medication? That whole cliche, it's like a meme. If you think, being healthy is expensive, try being sick. But it's cliche and oh so true. Lots of cliches are very true. Look at what you're spending on medical expenses. What are you spending on X, Y, and Z? What are you spending on the gym membership that you don't have the energy to go to that you've paid for the last year? I know that's not getting you any skinnier. I know that's not getting you any healthier. So just kind of walking through that day of where they spend their money, that's how I overcome it. And, listen, I'm not trying to, I know there are folks that $3 to $5 a day is a massive, massive deal. But, you're asking from my personal experience where I live with my demographic and in the area that I live in, $3 to $5 a day, man, I didn't come across anyone that couldn't swing it. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I personally would walk through that process.
I completely agree. We lived on one income. I left corporate America. We lived on one income with a brand new baby. Rent in San Diego, California is minimum $2,000 a month. And that was half of Scott's paycheck. So, I've made videos about this. Like, we would go to Chipotle once a week. That's like our heaven. Chipotle is our Sonic. So we would go all the time, and we literally had to sit there because he would tell me, you have to make money if you want your Plexus products. I'm not covering this. you're not going to take from our family's money. I mean, I know it was ours, but he had a point. And I'm like, you're right. So that was my personal goal to, make enough money to do that. And looking back now, if we would have sat down and walked through our day, Target dollar section get you every time. If we would have looked at our Chipotle visits, if we would have looked at, tanning memberships we didn't need because it's terrible for you, gym memberships we stopped going to. I love that example. If you really know these people, tell them to print out their bank statement. Like, come over with a highlighter. I'll help you, It just kind of depends on your passion for that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
10 and 11 go hand in hand. 11 and 12. 11 is, where did you find all the people to share with? And 12 is, what is your daily method of operation?
Yeah. And we've kind of touched on that a little bit. Where did I find people? Well, I told you I reached out to my best friends first. And that's what everyone should do. It doesn't mean that if your best friends say no, that you alienate them, right? I still have very good friends that have not joined me, and that is okay. I'm still holding out that they will, even though I'm 4 years in, right? But they may not. So a lot of it was reaching out to my very closest friends. A lot of it was Facebook. I always like to burst everyone's bubble and say, there's a rumor going around that our team, we built on Facebook. But here's the deal. If I had 2,000 friends on Facebook before I started Plexus, I had a lot of friends in real life, right? I mean, you don't have a friends list of 2,000 if you're not doing life with a lot of people. And same as you, Emily, with military and my husband going to one college, me going to another, me being from one state, him being from another, us going to different churches, missions. Like, we had a lot of different windows. So I had a lot of friends. So I would share a lot on Facebook. But here's where I say it wasn't all about Facebook. That was just a drip. Like we say, we're constantly, every time you're with someone, you're dripping Plexus on them. I never had anyone join my team after one Facebook post, right? They might see a post and I'm educating them, I'm making them more familiar, but it was always, I saw them in person at MCA. I should mention McKinney Christian Academy, my kids' school. We've got about 380 students. We've got 12 jewels on that campus. 380 students, 12 mamas, no daddies, all mamas, but that are jewels on that campus. So, I'd post on Facebook, they'd see me walk in with my Plexus shirt, then they'd ask me in person, or I'd post on Facebook, I'd inbox them and I would call them. So, Facebook is a lot of the way that I dripped on people, but it's still a belly-to-belly business. And the relationship is how you close it, right? You educate through Facebook, but you close it because of that relationship. I don't know if that answers the question, but it was a lot of in person, a lot of social media. It's really just it becoming a natural part of your life where you're not trying to sell something. It just becomes a part of who you are, not in an annoying, I'm talking about Plexus every time I see you, but that they see you and they're attracted to you because it becomes a part of who you are. Your demeanor, this is attraction marketing. When you see people, they're attracted to you. It's kind of like I said earlier about my only negative is sometimes you just want to be in your grubbies, but it's making the decision to put on some lip gloss before you walk out to the soccer game and put a smile on your face because you want people to be attracted to you. It's not being fake. It's attraction marketing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. I feel like I'm like all over the place. Like I'm like, we're just having a little conversation here.
We are. Oh, it's true. Put your best foot forward. This is a business. We use an example on our team a lot. Think of a store sign, your storefront. What does your storefront look like? Are you going to go into a store that's missing lights? Whole, for some, sometimes it's Target or sometimes it's Terray because it's missing the G. And you're like, okay, Target, pay your light bill. Think about an abandoned looking gas station versus a well-lit Target store with baskets and a Starbucks inside. Are you going to go to the sketchy looking gas station? Are you going to go to the well-presented store? What does your storefront look like? That's what's going to attract people in. And are they going to have a good time when they're shopping there? Or are they going to have issue after issue with you? That's why I say, Facebook's not your diary. People are watching your business and your personal life. If you get in a fight with your husband, go fix it. Go fix it with your husband. Don't put it on Facebook, right?
And that's not preaching because, girl, listen, I've done it. I've done it where I'm like, oh, did I really just do that? I've done it in the last week where I'm like, I can't believe I just put that out there for the whole world. I got to practice what I preach. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, but it definitely means you're, that's like one of the greatest examples I've ever heard of that, of like your storefront. Like, what do you want people to see?
Absolutely.
You're bringing them in. That's good.
So
I just learned something.
well, look at this, you guys. We're teaching a double diamond.
That's awesome. I love it.
Okay. So what does your DMO really look like? You said you reach out to people. So I know you are big on quiet time and filling up your own cup. So
yeah.
Can you explain to someone, if you don't know, DMO stands for Daily Method of Operation. It is a military term, but what are you doing every day to get to that goal that you have written down? So Celeste, kind of break it down. And I know it's different per.
It looks different now. It looks different now than it did, obviously. But, something that I probably started talking about when I get asked this question pretty much on every single Zoom call that I do or every training that I do. And I like to say, instead of telling you exactly what mine looks like, which I will touch on that, but what's more important is figuring out what yours looks like, right? So I like to say, me and Jen Hawkins, she's my upline, she's my best friend. I got married really young. She got married much older. Our lives look really different, right? She's got babies. I've got one that's about to start driving. Our lives look really different. Therefore, our DMO looks very, very different because she's got babies all over the place. And listen, my kids go to school at 7:45, praise the Lord, and I pick them up at 4:30, sometimes 5:15 because of sports, and I miss them terribly. And then, it's all good, but I have a lot of margin in my life. I have a lot of white space where she doesn't. So, instead of telling you exactly what I do, which I'll give you, some nuggets, I say you got to figure out what yours looks like. Like Roz Payne's, she committed to doing her DMO, and it looks so different from mine because she's working full time. So for 6 months, she ate at her desk in McKinney Christian Academy. She worked in the business office, and she worked her Plexus business for an hour every day while she ate lunch at her desk. She didn't go to the cafeteria and gab with all the other, folks that worked there like she could have and would have probably been more fun. She sat at her desk. She decided she would sleep less, right? She worked 60 hours a week. She said, I want it. I want to get my time freedom back. I want to have financial freedom. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. She worked her business from probably 9 to midnight. Slept less. Thank the Lord she had her products, right? Because she wasn't exhausted. She still woke up feeling rested. So that's something I really want you guys to self-reflect on. I'll tell you, I always like to share a little bit about how my day looks. But mainly remember, your day's not going to look like mine. You can get to double diamond if your day looks nothing like mine, right? I always start my day, get my kiddos out the door, and start with my coffee. I know, gasp. I still drink coffee. Sorry. It's part of my routine. I used to drink a whole pot. Now I drink this much of the cup. It's just part of my routine when I open the Word, and I have my prayer time every day, and I take my me time. And it is super important to me. I have a spot in my room or on my couch usually that I go for that. I also allow myself, depending on what my day looks like, 20 to 30 minutes to play on Facebook. That's playing, right? That's, oh my word, I've been doing this for 20 minutes and now I'm on, Grandma Sue's page, who I don't even know, looking at her trip to Disneyland. How did I get here? Click, 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 click. That's not working my business. And that's something that we have to really, really have self-control on and time management skills on. Because so often people will tell me, yeah, I work in my business. I spend like 3 hours a day on my Plexus business. And then they tell me what they've done that day. And I'm like, no, honey, you played on Facebook today. And there's nothing wrong with playing on Facebook. I loved Facebook before Plexus. I still love Facebook. I love getting glimpses into people's lives. Me and my husband call it brag book, because before Plexus, all we did was brag about our kids. I still do my fair share of that too. But knowing that that's not working your business, that's playing on Facebook, and that's okay. So I give myself 20 or 30 minutes to do that. And then I jump into my list. I've got my planner. I got my new Plexus planner over here that I'm getting organized with. But I work on those follow-ups. I work on those reaching back out to people, troubleshooting. Hey, listen, this is no different than any other business. There are problems and there's troubleshooting. Some days more than other. Some days I think, holy moly, I don't want to fix another problem. I just want to get out there and work my business. And then I go, okay, that is working my business. If I'm helping somebody on my team, you got to remind, that's more for, you leaders out there and you runners to remember, helping your team fix problems is still working your business. And if you didn't earn the Plexus Planner, get you a good planner. It's such an important part of your day. Erin Condren, don't get paid to say that, but her planners are great. So if you didn't get the Plexus one, find one that works for you and live by that. And just make sure you do allow room for margin. This is all about balance. I love what Alec Clark says. Don't work more than 39 hours a week. Because if you work more than 39 hours a week, what's the beauty in that? What's the attraction in that? If I tell people, oh yeah, I make really great money, but I work 60 hours a week on my Plexus business. Make sure that you do have margin and that you're remembering why you're doing this and that you're still putting your family first. Sometimes my family took the back burner for a little while, and that was okay too. But just come back to that of why you're doing this.
It's
what
not
else?
Compromise. They're your shareholders,
Yeah.
right? So if you compromise, like Scotty and I, so Celeste shared this one time at a meeting, she didn't want her husband, Andrew, to remember her by the glow of Facebook when they were laying in bed, right? Scotty's laughing. Pipe down. But that's so true. You don't want to ruin a marriage. You don't want to put arguments that they don't have to be there. When your 2-year-old comes up to you and says, Mommy, no phone, or he's just addicted to the cell phone as he thinks you are because that's what he knows, time to step away for a little bit. Go outside, enjoy some fresh air, have your quality time, your me time, but do compromise with your spouses. You have a lot of people, I see like 3 people right away, that have those spouses that just don't get it. They don't understand having a DMO and I have to complete this today. There's no emergencies in what we do. There's just none. And so it's okay to step away and come back. So out of your DMO, Celeste, this is question 13. What is your number 1 IPA that you have to complete?
Yeah, follow up. Like I said earlier, nobody joined my team the first time I reached out to them, right?
Nope.
No one. What if I gave Jen Hawkins practically a throat punch 7 or 8 times, and she kept coming back for more, right? What if she had taken that no as no? What if so many of my leaders, Roz Payne, so many folks on my team that told me, no way, man, no how, I don't have time, I don't want it, I'm not interested. They were just no, that follow-up.
How often would you say you followed up with people that gave you those really hard no's? Were you like bi-weekly at this point? Were you once a week? I mean, I know you have different relationships with everybody, but
that's what I was going to say. It kind of depended on my relationship with them. I mean, I swear if Roz Payne was on here, she'd be like every 30 minutes for like the first 4 months, it depends on my relationship with you. Obviously, I was super pushy with people that I know love me unconditionally, right? If I knew I could do nothing to lose their love and I knew what I had to offer them and I shared with them because I love them, it was way more often than someone that maybe gave me a hard no. It's still not always looking for that excuse to follow up. I know you told me no because you didn't have the money. I'm following up because we're doing 10% off welcome packs this month. Mm-hmm. So I know it was a no when it was, I'm not good at math, however much that welcome pack was going to cost. Now that it's 10% off, maybe you're in a different position financially. I know it was a hard no, but I just saw that you posted that you were exhausted and you fell asleep watching a movie with your kid at 2:00 in the afternoon. I know you gave me a hard no, but listen, I haven't taken a nap in 4 years. Yeah. I'm just following up because I saw it's looking for that reason to make that connection, not just a random. That's why you need to definitely make a friends list of people that are your close friends that you want to see their stuff all the time. Because I'm constantly going and looking at my potentials Facebook pages and going, they want to take their family to Disney World and they can't afford it. Should I mention that Plexus took me to Disney World 2 years ago for free? Should I shoot them a message and tell them that? Or that I could take my family to Disney, no sweat off my back because of my Plexus pay? Even when I was, just barely getting started, that wouldn't have been a huge sacrifice. Looking for those reasons to have that follow-up. Anytime we have a new product, that's a reason to follow up with everybody, right? Anytime we have a new promotion, that's a reason to follow up. But the fortune and the follow-up, I mean, that's definitely the most important because, like I said, nobody has ever joined my team on one drip.
No, and statistics say 12 to 16 contacts. So that could be saying hi. That could be following up specifically about Plexus. That could be running into them at church. But 12 to 16 times of you bringing it up before they make a decision. So Rosalind Payne, she is a Diamond Ambassador. You can watch her Diamond Doc on YouTube.
Yeah, so good.
It's amazing and make you cry. How long did it take Rosalind to join? Do you remember?
4.5 months.
4.5. See, I think that's a pretty good time. There's a senior Ruby on the call. It took her about that long, and she was this close to blocking me. So it's true. It does. It takes time. So first, somebody asked, what do you say in a follow-up that's been absolutely adamant on saying no? Yeah. It's going to come down to the relationship with that person. Brittany, the brand new ambassador, she's super fired up right now, but it's going to be about the relationship. Honestly, there is no right or wrong thing to say. It's just about their timing and continually reaching out about it, I think. Yeah.
No, and I see Stephanie just said that Ray Higdon thing about taking the offer off the table. That's a really great tool too. You know, I've done that before where I've said, hey, listen, you know, I've been talking to you for 2 years about this. I love you. I don't want to annoy you anymore. So just know, like, this is the last time you're going to hear from me about this, you know, but then I still might, you know, if they ask I'm in Dallas for the weekend on Facebook, do you have any suggestions on restaurants? Even though I told them I was not going to reach out to them about Plexus, I'm going to inbox them. I'm going to go, oh my word, I live in Dallas. Here's your list of the top 10 restaurants. Trust me, because of Plexus, I can afford to eat at all of them regularly. Trust me, I know which ones are good. I still look for a way to kind of get that in there, but it's a sincere reason. They're asking, I'm following up, right? And I'm keeping the relationship open.
Very clever.
It's not manipulation, right? I mean, I love relationships anyway, so it's sincere.
It's true. And I think Scotty and I had the same conversation because there are things that we do now. I mean, we literally have lived in hotels since he got out of the Marine Corps. We have gone to the casino and we've traveled and we went on a road trip, and people are like, oh my gosh, y'all must have saved a lot of money. And I'm like, no, all of our savings are going to our new home. Yeah. Plexus. We're literally just living off my Plexus income. He's not getting paid right now. And people's minds are just like, wait a minute. Okay. Now I'm kind of interested. Yeah. And so you just have to be consistent with that. How do you personally limit attrition with such explosive growth? That's question number 14.
Yeah. I mean, attrition, first of all, no, it's natural. It's normal. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways that you could get from this is I got a lot of white lines as a double diamond. I mean, wrap your brain around it. Thousands and thousands and thousands of white lines. And, you know, I think, you know, you can limit attrition to some degree by keeping people excited. That's what we try to do on the team page, right? Keeping people motivated, helping them catch that vision from the very beginning. But, you know, I think you have to change that mindset from letting those white lines just like weigh heavy on you and discourage you. You know, when I see a white line, I go, all right, there's more people out there that I have to reach because they didn't get it, right? They didn't get it. And one of the best nuggets I ever got, I think it was from Eric Warray, like years ago, like maybe my first leaders retreat in Amelia Island. He talked about, instead of getting discouraged by those white lines, realizing not everyone gets what we do, right? We're non-traditional. We don't put on a suit, go sit in traffic, go sit in a cubicle and make somebody else rich every day. And that's the American dream. That's what everybody does. Most people work to make somebody else rich. So when somebody joins us and they can't catch the vision, we just have to realize, like, not everybody's going to get it. And if everybody got it, we wouldn't be making money because everyone would do it, right? If everyone caught the vision and could see this non-traditional route that we've taken, that we can be, for me, a full-time mom who does everything for my kids, a husband, you know, be a wife to my husband, be a good friend, be a good daughter that takes care of my parents that lives next door, all while still running a multi-million-dollar business. If everyone got that, they would do it. But people think there's something special and unique about us. They don't understand. No. We just wanted it. We saw a better way. I wanted to have a husband that had the freedom to be here for my kids. I didn't want to, I hate traffic. Are you kidding me? I can't put my little Plexus emblem on my Lexus because I hate traffic so much. I have road rage sometimes. I couldn't do that every single day because I'm ugly in traffic, you know? So you just have to realize non-traditional is better, but not everyone's going to get it. That was a really long-winded way to answer that. But
no, I think that's great. And it's something that I personally did because I think it really starts happening around gold and senior gold. I think senior gold is a very hard rank to maintain personally. And because you're making a mistake, you're becoming a gem and then a jewel. And that's a lot of lives and responsibilities. So for what every white line that I would see, for me personally, I focused on my levels 1 through 4. Like that's just kind of what I focused on. Every white line that would happen, I knew that I had to personally reach out to 3 new people. That's just the responsibility that I took on. I need to grow to show my team that I can still grow, even if they have people coming and going. So maybe you're listening and you're watching this. Not everyone is going to get it. So why don't you take the responsibility on of, okay, level 1 went MIA. It's up to me to go talk to 3 new people to bring a new person back in. I think that's what we should be doing anyways, right? We're always talking to new people.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, that's part of that going silver every month. If you're adding 3 people and they're adding 3 people and they're adding 3 people, you know, you're going to go forward. You may go backwards a little bit. There's highs and lows in this business. But yeah, if you're constantly like replacing 3 with 1, you know, I'm not good at math. I'm a network marketer. I'm good with people, but I can figure that out. Then you're going to go forward eventually.
So I'm going to wrap you up with the last 3 questions. You can just give us short 1 answers because we've been here forever and I don't want to ruin it.
I know, on my word, y'all. It's because I haven't talked in a month and a half. I'm like, please let me talk. Please let me talk.
She's out of jail. Okay. Number 15, what is your favorite network marketing book?
The 4 Color Personalities, MLM by Tom Big Al Schreider. And it's, you know, we've talked a lot about me and you being totally blue. And I think it was so eye-opening for me to go, okay, so wait, there are people that will be successful in this business that don't care that we get a free car. Okay, wait, they don't just want to go to the fun gala and the parties. Like they're in this just to help people, which, you know, we all are going to say we got a little bit of all the colors, or they're in it just to make the money, or they're in it just for this. When you realize it's the 4 Color Personalities for MLM by Tom Big Al Schreider. And when you realize how to relate to folks, meet them at their color, you know, if I'm talking to somebody and they're all about helping people, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about my blingy watch or my diamond earrings or any of the stuff that completely isn't motivating to them. I'm going to talk to them about the testimonies and the lives changed and the mom is staying home with their babies and the health testimonials. And, you know, that's what I'm going to share with them because that's what's going to attract them and make them want to work the business. I bet you I've read that book 15 times.
Yeah.
Because I have it on my car, on my iTunes. So we just listen to it and my kids fight over what color they are. And one of my kids doesn't like what color they are and they want to argue, but she really wants to be super fun and blue, but she's just not.
Red. She's probably very About 50% of our team is yellow, and that for someone like Celeste and I that is very blue, it is heart-wrenching for you. You guys are amazing, don't get me wrong, but y'all, like, we're like the tortoise and the hare. Like, I'm ready to like go, go, go. Oh, and you're like, hold on a minute. I'm sure I have this, or I really just want to help this person. We'll wait. I'm like, no, do it now. So that book it's so eye-opening. You'll have some aha moments. You'll laugh at yourself. You'll laugh at your leadership. It's great. After reaching Diamond twice, how are you still motivated?
I love this question. I actually went to a John Maxwell network marketing thing. Some of you guys may have tuned in and watched it. It was great. Met a lot of leaders, did not expect anyone there to know me or Jen. We just kind of thought we'd be flies on the wall. And they all knew who we were because they're network marketers, right? Like we're Plexus ambassadors. We love Plexus. They're network marketers. And I think I had probably 6 people that are industry leaders say, we know how much money you make. Why do you still work at all? Like, we know you could live off of residual. You could never say the word Plexus again. Like, somebody actually said this to me. And you could live very, very, very well off of this residual income for the rest of your life. Why do you still work? And I didn't even have to think about it. I said, I have an addictive personality. I said, I am addicted to watching it change other people's lives. Like, how selfish of me to get here and then go, good luck with that. You know, I mean, I'm addicted to getting on a call like this. It fuels my flame, and seeing 91 people and know that that's 91 lives that I could change just by taking an hour and going against what my doctor told me to do and talking to y'all way too much, but knowing that it's changing lives. I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to watching it change people's lives, and you can't ever walk away from that. I mean, I'll slow down. I have slowed down. In the last year, I've said no to a lot of stuff. I've focused back in on my family, but I still take care of my team. You know, you're my 4, so people on this call are my 5, 6, 7s. That's as deep as I get paid. I don't care if you're my level 12 and you go Emerald. Sister, I'm having a party over here, you know, because that's a life change. That's a family change. That's thousands of lives changed from the products and from the opportunities. So that's why. That's what keeps me motivated. It's my heart. It's my passion. It's not a canned answer. It's like that can't stop, won't stop. You know, I just got to keep going.
Absolutely.
So
I think that's a beautiful, perfect answer, because that's something that, I mean, I want to be double diamond. So that's what's motivating me, right? But it's true. You just like, you can't stop. I feel like even some days I feel silver. Like I'm just getting started. Like I know.
Oh yeah.
The title, right? Like you just want to keep going, and there's 7 billion people in the world. Like we're not done.
Right.
Last question, and this is courtesy of the incredible Plexus compensation plan, you guys. Hard work, ethic, drive, motivation, all these things. This is not a guarantee. I'm going to make this as compliant as I can. This is a possibility, and I want y'all to understand that. Celeste, Gwynn, what is a roundabout example of something you're making annually with the Plexus?
You know, I'll say it's annually. Let's say monthly.
Okay, monthly. Okay,
then y'all can do the math. Double 6 figures. High 6 figures.
You guys just just swish that around up there for a minute.
And I can't even. Like I still can't.
That's monthly.
I'm a
okay,
mom.
she's making NFL players, like NFL players, look bad because of the Plexus comp plan, y'all. Like, think about that for a second. Yeah, that's a perfect emoji, Brianna. She's sending like the face. It's so true.
The point of all of that, though, is, yeah, that's cray, right? I mean, that's like insane. You know, we joke around, we gangster money, all this stupid, fun, silly stuff that we say. But I think after being on this call with me for, you know, an hour, the biggest takeaway is, okay, holy moly, like she's wearing sweatpants. She's yelling at her kids to get off Netflix. You know, she's got that hick accent when she gets passionate. She's a stay-at-home mom. She never had a career in her life. She's a military wife, former military wife, Jesus lover, like just a normal chick. If I can do this, I promise you, and not to mention I was an idiot that was a preferred customer for 9 months. I'm clearly not that smart, right? So if I can do this and take this far, man, I'm telling every single 81 of you left on this call, I believe anyone can do this because I know all the leaders, right? And we're all special. We're all uniquely and wonderfully made. But listen, there ain't nothing that special about any of us that sets us apart from every other person in the world other than passion and belief.
Absolutely.
And drive and hard work.
And we probably heard the word no thousands of more times than you guys have. That's the only thing. But you will get there. You will get there. You're going to hear it, and you're going to remember this Zoom call, and you're going to keep going. Celeste, thank you so much from the bottom of our heart for getting on and breaking rules for us. We really appreciate it.